And its final act is a blockbuster, centering on one man who really embodied every single aspect of the Viking spirit: the warrior, the exile, the commander, and the king. His name was Harald Hardrada, which basically means hard ruler, and this guy lived up to it. After being exiled from Norway, Harald went and made his name and a massive fortune as a legendary commander in the Varangian Guard. He was the absolute quintessential Viking adventurer who comes home rich and famous to take back his kingdom.
And he wasn't just tough, he was brilliant. There's this one story that perfectly captures his cunning. He's stuck in a long siege, can't break the city walls. So what does he do? He has his men announce that he's died and ask for permission to bury him inside the city's church. The defenders agree, but as the funeral procession enters the gates, Hardrada bursts out of his own coffin, sword in hand, and his men take the completely shocked city. It's pure Viking genius. All right, so the whole Viking age comes to a head in one single, fateful year, 1066. The King of England dies without an heir, and suddenly it's a three-way, winner-take-all battle for the throne. You've got the Englishman, Harold Godwinson, you have William, the Duke of Normandy, who, by the way, is a descendant of Vikings himself, and of course, you've got our guy, the last Viking, Harald Hardrada.
Hardrada invades England from the north with his massive fleet of 300 ships. He wins in early battle, but then he gets careless. Harold Godwinson's English army force marches north and catches him completely by surprise at a place called Stamford Bridge. In the brutal fight that follows, the great Viking king, the last Viking, is struck by an arrow in the throat, and he's killed. The defeat was absolutely catastrophic. I mean, just look at this number. Of the 300 ships that Hardrada sailed to England, they only needed 25 to carry the survivors home. The great Viking invasion of England was over. But hold on, here's the final twist. While Godwinson is up north celebrating his victory, the third claimant, William of Normandy, lands his army in the south. The exhausted English army has to march all the way back down, and they're defeated at the famous Battle of Hastings. So, while the last Viking was dead, the new King of England was himself a direct descendant of Viking settlers. The age of raids was over, but the Viking legacy would now rule from the throne. And that legacy continues to this day, but in a way that would be totally unrecognizable to someone like Harald Hardrada. You might call it a second, much more subtle Viking invasion.
What happened next is one of the most incredible transformations in world history. The homeland of those feared Viking warriors, Scandinavia, is now globally known for the exact opposite: peace, diplomacy, social welfare. I mean, think about the Nobel Peace Prize. It's awarded in Oslo, the heart of the old Viking kingdom of Norway. The irony is just staggering.
Today, the modern Scandinavian model is admired and copied all over the world. We're talking about some of the highest standards of living, a tiny gap between the rich and poor.